Going live. All righty. Ready, buddy? Okay. All right. Welcome to the Gridiron. Basically, we were talking about how great the New York Football Giants are and how badly the Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Cowboys blow. I hate those teams. Can't stand those two teams. So, hey, if you give this video a thumbs up, share this video, that'd be freaking awesome. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. In the description box below, the very top link takes you to my membership page if you want to help support my channel out. I got 3 different membership levels. First one's called the Saquon, second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's, it's a Facebook link, takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We just reached 8,900 members today. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing and if I have internet access, I'm putting a ton of stuff in this group, darn near 365. Right? And then the link underneath it, to me, it's a Twitter link. It's to my Twitter account. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I try to put Giants-related stuff on my Twitter account every day. All right. So, well, hazy, hot, and humid, I guess it was. I mean, we had some guys, according to Howard Cross, some guys were on the ground there up chucking some cookies because it was pretty hot. And, of course, we're talking New York Giants. So, of course, New York Giants and injuries. They go hand in hand. When you go to the Webster's dictionary and you scroll down, you get to the eyes and you look at word injury, it just has an NY next to it. It doesn't actually say the word injury. It just says a little NY next to it. So you know what? Unbelievable. Injuries. Well, of course, it happens. Every team's got their injuries. Doesn't look like it's going to be any different for the Giants this season. You just kind of hope maybe every now and then, maybe you all get down on your knees and you pray to sweet dear baby Jesus. One time in the next 335 trillion years, just one year, if we can maybe have a year where we don't have 742,000 injuries, just one time, sweet dear baby Jesus. That would be so nice. I mean, doesn't look like it's going to happen this year. Absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable. And of course, once again, it's the offensive line. Neal ain't coming back. Schmidt's still got with his shoulder. Zuda's been carted off the field. Absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable. I just can't stand it. Absolutely can't stand it. Anyway. But the offense had some good at practice. But we'll go over the injuries a little bit. But the offense had some good. The defense had some good today, which is like something, you like to say. You want the offense to do good and you want the defense to do good. Right? You don't want it, once again, you don't want it all offense. You don't want it all, all defense. You want want a little mixture in there. And the offense did okay. So they have off Saturday. I think it's a shell practice on Sunday, and then the Lions. I guess they're staying here. I mean, obviously it's Monday and Tuesday, and then we have Thursday night. We have the preseason. I guess I don't know. I mean, they're here from then I call from Michigan to here. Out of practice, going back to Miami. So obviously they're here Monday and Tuesday. I guess they're staying here Wednesday and then Thursday, and then I guess going back after the game, I'm thinking. But next week's going to be a very good test for the Giants. You're going to get a lot of good quality reps in there, a lot of stuff. Hopefully by the end of next week, maybe if we're lucky, we'll have maybe 2 or 3 offensive linemen still left standing. Maybe if we're lucky. I don't want to push it too much. You know what I mean? So we have 13 guys still on the roster on the offensive line. Probably 10 of them will go get hurt. Maybe we'll have 3 of them left standing, but I don't want to overstep my boundaries here. You know what I mean? I realize, but going to have some good quality reps, really good quality reps. Thing I like about with Campbell is that the guy's head, right? Lions, he prepares them for the season. I mean, it's just, Howard Cross brought up this one thing, it's a very, very good point. He seems to think that a lot of guys get injured because they don't practice. Right? I mean, no, you can practice, but no, you can't run, you can't hit, you can't throw a ball. You can do 2 jumping jacks, and that's a practice, and that's all you can do. That's what's in the contract. And you go, you do 2 jumping jacks, you get off the field. We don't want to, it's like PUSSY ball. It's unbelievable. Really, really is. Howard Cross, said, what do boxers do to get ready for a boxing match? I mean, they do the jump rope and the running and all that stuff, everything, crunches, but they spar, right? They're in the ring. I mean, obviously, they're hitting a heavy bag but they're sparring. They're delivering blows and they're getting hit back and forth. That gets them ready for a boxing match. I mean, you can't bubble wrap these guys and then take the bubble wrap off week 1 and expect them to go play football without getting. I mean, that's just crazy. So Howard Cross seems to think that sometimes a lot of these guys may be getting injured in camp or maybe early in the season or whatever because there's not enough contact preparing their bodies for the season. I mean, he was back in the day, I'm sure he probably had 2-a-days back then. I remember, Carl Banks was talking about 2-a-days. I remember when I was in high school, I didn't play college ball. I just lost interest. I wasn't very good. But I remember in high school, we had 3-a-days. And the thing is that, if it was during the week, my parents worked. So I had to ride my bike to the high school. I had to be there. We had to be on the field by 8. So I wasn't too far from the high school, but I probably left about 7 o'clock in the morning. Got there, whatever, 20 after 7, 25, whatever it was. Probably got in the locker room around 7:30. You get dressed and all that. Maybe the coach would talk to you, whatever. And you hit the field by 8 o'clock in the morning. And I think we were out there for like 2.5 hours or so. So around 10:30, somewhere around there. You came back in. And you probably had maybe about an hour and a half, I guess, maybe whatever. You always bring a lunch with you, stuff to drink. They always had water there for you and everything. But, so we were there for probably maybe 10:30 to 12. You rest, recuperated from a 2.5 hour practice, and 12 o'clock you went back out on the field again for 2.5 hours. And this was in August, right? This was a couple weeks just before school. Because once school started, you just had one practice after school was over. That was it. But this was in August, the last couple of weeks of August, and from 12 o'clock to about 2:30, another 2.5 hour practice. Right after 2:30, you would come in, get changed, maybe I don't know, hang your stuff up, whatever, but you sweat, your underwear and all, your t-shirt and everything's all soaking wet and dirty and smelly and everything. And so I get on my bike at 2:30 in the afternoon, ride 20 minutes, whatever, home, take a shower, plop down on the bed and just take a nap for a couple hours. And I had to be back in, I think by about 5:30, I'm guessing, somewhere around there. So I think by 6 o'clock, we went back out on the field, or maybe it was 5:30. I don't know. So maybe it was 6 to 8 or 5:38 somewhere. But we that was the third practice. And then, so I basically, ride my bike there in the morning, ride my bike home, ride my bike back there. And after the third practice of the day, ride my bike back home again. I got home, I don't know, 8:30, 8:45. I have no idea. Took another shower, just laid down, passed out, got up at whatever time in the morning, 6 o'clock, 6:30, ate a breakfast, and did it all over for 2-3 weeks in a row. Got us ready for the season now. I'll tell you what, guys got banged up and it was the guys, maybe throwing up and stuff because it was so hot and everything like that. But it is unbelievable. I don't ever remember a guy blowing out an ACL, anything like that. It was all dirt field. The football field was grass. I don't remember anybody blowing out an ACL. Absolutely not. And we practiced 3 times a day for weeks. And then we played the games and all that. And I don't know. Never. I don't know. It's weird. Absolutely weird. Of course, every team gets injured and all, but man, once again, the Giants' offensive line. We're 8 practices in. We can't get Neal back because John Michael Schmidt's shoulders, the same one still. Hopefully he's coming back soon. Hopefully. Just lost to Zudu, got carted off. His season could be over. Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. All right, but as I said, the offense did pretty well today. Let's see here. First-round rookie Malik Nabers had a strong day of practice, including multiple toe drag catches on the sideline. Nabers also found success as an underneath receiver. Despite good coverage, Nabers made the difficult catches look routine. That's what we got him for, right? I'm very anxious to see him play. If he's allowed to stay healthy, of course. So you don't know. Right? You don't know. You got to, hopefully he'll be allowed to stay healthy this season, right? It appears that the Giants got themselves a rookie receiver who's ready to be a big-time player from day one. Early in practice, Jalen Hyatt got vertical and almost reeled in a deep ball for a touchdown, but Cordell Flott, who popped repeatedly, broke the pass up. Flott has been inconsistent this summer, leaving us with a concern regarding the cornerback 2 spot. We still like Nick McLeod. Flott was beaten by veteran Allen Robinson II on a route. Isaiah McKenzie, who left practice early, we're going to talk about that a little bit, with appeared to be a hip injury on a jet sweep. He got popped. Let's see. McKenzie rookie cornerback Andru Phillips matched up with McKenzie winning on a dig route. And the two appeared to talk a little bit of trash afterwards. Imagine that, trash talking out there, huh? Kenzie took a pop in the back from Theo Johnson, who's been having himself not too bad a camp so far. It seems like every day you're hearing something about him. And immediately fell and stayed on the ground in pain. There was no word regarding his injury, but he was clearly smarting afterwards and was done for the day. So I want to keep an eye out. Bam. Wando Robinson finally healthy for the 2024 season, scored a deep touchdown. Isaiah Hodgins scored a touchdown in the back of the end zone on a scramble. Scramble drill where Jones stepped up, rolled right, and got it high and out to Hodgins. Early in the practice, Hodgins ran a curl route against Darnay Holmes, who was in Hodgins' pocket, but the hip point was too much for Holmes to make a play against Jair Asante. Johnny Giles, Dennis Houston each made a good play as well. Asante beat Isaiah Simmons for a fade touchdown. They're tough. You can have great coverage on a fade and if the ball is just right. That's tough. Really, really tough. So the quarterbacks did well, Daniel Jones did well. The receivers did well. Then also down there says the defense opens up. The Giants hired Shane Bowen from the Titans this past offseason, and the scheme is vastly different from what the Giants ran in 2023. As we've previously noted, the systems and philosophies run by Bowen and Wink are about as polar opposite as could be as far as their aggressiveness as well as coverage tendencies. Let's see what we got. In Friday's practice, we saw edge rusher Brian Burns drop into coverage more often than previously this week. Bowen, remember, used Harold Landry III in pass coverage on 17% of the passing plays for the Titans last year. It appears Burns will be given that responsibility in 2024. The role is nothing new for Burns. He spent 15.4% of his snaps with the Panthers in coverage. I know he's not the biggest fan in the world. He'd rather go forward than backwards. He mentioned that in one of his press conferences, but it is what it is. On the back end, Jason Pinnock intercepted a pass. Let's say the second team safety group at one point in practice was Alex Johnson, an undrafted free agent at UCLA, and Elijah Riley, who signed with the Giants as a free agent this offseason. Let's see. Lineup notes: the shuffling along the interior offensive line continued Friday. Van Roten played center for the majority of the first-team snaps. John Runyon Jr. was at left guard. Aaron Stinney was at the right guard. Zudu, prior to his leaving on a cart, toward the end of practice, rotated in at left guard. Andru Phillips seemed to be the leader for the slot cornerback spot. He got first-team reps at that position and he acquitted himself well. Meanwhile, Theo Johnson continues to make a case for a job at inside linebacker after delivering some solid first-team reps against the run and underneath passing game. So, when McFadden gets back on the field, it's going to be a little, a nice little competition going on there. So, you keep hearing good things about Johnson. And apparently, you hear stuff about Johnson. It's a lot of times it seems like it's the first team. Once again, it's just training camp and all that stuff and everything. But it's with the first teamers. So good for him. Good for him. I mean, we can get some good competition in there. I'm all for it, man. All for it. Let's see. Elijah Chapman, a spunky yet undersized defensive lineman, got some first-team reps. He managed to slip through the protection for a sack on quarterback Daniel Jones. At running back, Tyrone Tracy Jr. sprinkled in some first-team reps along with Motor Singletary. Eric Gray was primarily second-team for this practice. All right, the injury report here. We got Giants have been dealing with injuries. Shocking, I know. And it got worse on Friday. Hard to believe. Hard to believe. It's absolutely amazing. John Michael Schmidt's shoulder and Evan Neal were both projected starters for a short time ago, but were both held out of Friday's practice. Hard to believe. This was the fifth practice in a row Schmitz has missed. We'll see if he returns after the day off on Saturday. If he does not, then we think it will officially be time to worry about that spot. Unbelievable. To make matters worse on the offensive line, Zudu was carted off late in practice. We don't know what happened. It's certainly possible that it was cramps from the extreme heat. Okay, I can deal with that. Either way, the Giants can't afford to lose an offensive lineman. Let's see. Jashawn Corbin didn't practice either. He's already facing an uphill battle. Yeah, he is. Well, the running back group. Let's see. As previously mentioned, Isaiah McKenzie left practice after getting hit on the sideline on a jet sweep. McKenzie held his hip on the ground while being attended to and would later put his helmet back on while standing on the sideline. Others who left practice early included Bryce Ford Wheaton, tight end Jack Stahl, and defensive lineman DJ Davidson. Unbelievable. Darius Slayton was limited to individual drills. Head coach Brian Dable said Slay was tight. But let's see here. So Zudu. Seems the Giants can get through multiple practices without a concerning injury being suffered. It seems the Giants can get through multiple practices. Really? Or how about they can't get through multiple practices without concerning it? It's from G-Man HQ. It says it seems the Giants can get through multiple practices. That's not right. They can't get through multiple practices without a concerning injury being suffered. It's unbelievable. All these, a lot of other teams, everything's just hunky-dory. I mean, maybe a little something here, a little something there. But Giants, like every day, another day, lose another player. Absolutely amazing. This time it's third-year offensive lineman Joshua Ezeudu, who Brian Daboll and company are going to have to worry about for a little bit. During day 8 of training camp, Ezeudu went down and he was able to limp off the field. However, according to the team, according to the young Hoss, ended up being carted off. The fact that he was in much pain and discomfort is not good, especially with the depth throughout the line being an issue in recent seasons. It was a hot day in East Rutherford, so maybe back cramping was the cause. Or this could be something else for him. I mean, he was, where were we at here? So was it last season? So in 2022, he played 290 snaps. But last season, he played, was it weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then week 6 when we should have beat the Bills. God, just stuff like that just pisses you off thinking about that game, that Bills game. You should have beat him. He played 9 snaps against the Bills, and his season was over. So, once again, I mean, he got drafted. Him in the 3rd round, Marcus McKeithen. He got drafted in the 5th round. He hurt himself and basically his entire rookie season was missed. So let's hope maybe McKeithen can bounce back this season. It would be nice. Last season, McKeithen played 378 snaps. He was his blocking. It was his, let's see. He gave up 2 sacks. He gave up 17 pressures. 245 pass attempts, 17 pressures. So I was not extremely, basically like, I don't know what the hell that would be. 1 out of every 15 passing attempts, he gave up a pressure, or every 14 or whatever it would be. So not very impressive. So hopefully with a little bit of work from our new offensive line coach, maybe McKeithen can step up his game a little bit. Because Ezeudu suffered a toe injury and was placed on injury reserve following the early season loss to the Bills. I said he only played 9 snaps against the Bills. Injured his toe. Season was over. Before he went down with that latest setback, he appeared in 6 games. It had been back-to-back years of him suffering a serious injury. Now we're going to have to wait and see if positive news can become from this most recent update. Ezeudu has the versatility to play either guard or tackle, though it looks like he's more comfortable on the inside. He's not expected to be a starter in 2024, but the fact of the matter, if the Giants need all the healthy bodies they can get up front. Yep. I mean, it's just another one of those guys. It just seems like they just cannot stay healthy. It's just absolutely unbelievable. Ezeudu is not a standout for the team, nope, but he's going to have to be relied on to step it up once his number is called. That's if he's healthy. If this is more of a long-term issue, then Joe Shane and company are going to have to look for another potential signing to make his way to East Rutherford. The G-men just added Greg Van Roten. And they also brought in another guy, too, but we're going to go over that in just a few here. Let's see here. They're talking about, okay, here we go. The Heat got to center Austin Schlotman, who briefly left the field while vomiting, as well as wide receiver Bryce Ford Wheaton. It was that kind of a day. So those 2 guys, the Heat got to them. Okay, that's understandable. Meanwhile, 3 other Giants also went down with injuries. Hard to believe. We got a 13-minute long practice, and we lost half our roster due to injuries. Absolutely freaking amazing. Tight end Jack Stahl, who appeared to suffer a knee injury. Cool. All right. Good news. He was joined on the sideline by defensive tackle DJ Davidson, both of whom were tended to by trainers and Ronnie Barnes. Let's see. let's see what we got. Oh, fine. And then Isaiah McKenzie. So we had Davidson, Stahl, McKenzie with the hip, and then Azuda. And then you had Schlotman, right? And Bryce Ford Wheaton were vomiting, I guess, probably from just being hot and all that stuff and everything. But unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So we'll have to wait and see. They have a day off, come back Sunday. At least it's shells on Sunday. I mean, I don't know. We're going to have anybody healthy for the season. Who knows? Maybe we'll have the 13 string players in there. I don't know. Maybe I'll be lining up for the Giants. Right? At least I'll be cheap. Right? I mean, I'll probably only be good for about a play or so until I get injured, but unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. All right. Well, I said, same thing I said Marcus McKeithen. Said, what did we play in last year? 378 snaps, grand total. He missed his entire rookie season, got injured. He hasn't been injured yet this year. So, let's see if anything, if he can up his game a little bit. Now, last season by PFF, right, graded out of 45.4. His pass blocking was a 26 by PFF. Absolutely unbelievable. So he played basically like from weeks 2 to 10. He played sparingly in there. And then from weeks 11 to 17, he didn't play at all. And he played in the final game. He played 5 snaps against the Eagles, week 18. So this is his third season, and in his first 2 seasons, he's played in a grand total of 378 offensive snaps. Yeah. But the one thing it stinks is that, the reason why he's only been 378 because he missed an entire season. I tell you what, if I'm an offensive lineman, I'll tell you what, man, I don't know if I want to be drafted by the Giants. I mean, the history of the injuries that, it is absolutely amazing. You look at other teams, of course, guys get injured here or there, whatever, but you look at some of the other guys on the other rosters and all that. And, so-and-so played 17,000 snaps last year on the offensive. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, didn't even have an ingrown toenail. Nothing. Oh, he's good. Oh, yeah. It's like, and we can't even go through a practice without losing 37 guys on the offensive line. It is absolutely amazing. But the Giants, they came out, it was a couple days ago, with their, obviously, they're rolling out their top 100 players of all time. So this week it was players 51 to 60. And they got some good ones on there. The one thing is a shame would certainly be, without question, the Victor Cruz. Right? Now, he would certainly be lower on this list, without question, if he was played longer. I'm definitely sure he would have been. But we started off at number 60. Good old Jumbo Elliott. 6'7", 305 pounds. Jumbo John, second round pick, the 1988 NFL draft, and made the Pro Football Writers of America all rookie team. He played more than 200 games with the Jets and the Giants, including preseason across 14 seasons in the NFL. The first 8 with the Giants and another 6 with the Jets. Elliott helped pave the way for a 1,000-yard rusher in 13 of his 14 NFL seasons. That's amazing. I made the Pro Bowl in 1993 and won the Super Bowl, obviously Super Bowl 25 with the Giants. 2-time All-American out of Michigan. Elliott was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. Parcells brought out the best in me as a player, Elliott said. He would say, you have to sustain power. That's what it took to be a Parcells guy. Someone who had tremendous ability to sustain power, mental toughness, and discipline, and very, very, very top-level work ethic. Just a very good, solid overall, player for the Giants, as it said, for 8 years. Right? Victor Cruz, number 59. Obviously, without question, I would definitely think that he would be much farther up on this list if he had a longer career, a healthier career. But, he got injured in 2014, and then 2015, he tried to come back. He had a calf problem. He missed the 2015 season. His last season was 2016. He helped the Giants get to, we had Shep, right? We had Victor Cruz, and we had Odell Beckham Jr. So we had three, The problem was, Shep was Shep, right? And Odell was Odell. But Victor was just kind of like a shell of himself. He caught one touchdown pass. It was the first game of the season help beat the Cowboys in Dallas, 20-19, I think it was. He had a week or so later, he had a very good kid. Didn't score a touchdown, but it was a big catch against the Saints down along the right sideline. It was a big catch to get the Giants in the field goal range, and we scored a touchdown off it. I don't remember, but he had a big catch. But he only had the one touchdown reception. He just wasn't the same, and he wasn't on the team in 2017. I think he tried to make it with maybe the Bears or somebody like that, but he just after the injuries, I guess with the calf and the injury he sustained in 2014, it just took everything out of him, and he just wasn't the same. Unfortunately, you're always pulling for the guy, but I mean, obviously, he had the one 2011 season, and 2012, so he had some really nice seasons, just short. It's what happens with a lot of the Giants receivers. Obviously Hakeem Nicks had his problem. Steve Smith had his problem. You can just Odell Beckham Jr. had a couple good years, but then he had a bunch of injuries. So it's like Shepard. You can just freaking just go. Plaxico Burress had a couple good, and then he shoots himself in the front. Didn't shoot, but accidentally. So you could just go on and on and on and on and on. All these guys that just got freaking injured for the Giants. Wide receivers and tight ends, and with Boss and Shockey. But I think if Cruz was able to stay healthy, it happens. It's football. Stuff happens, But I mean, if he was able to stay healthy and play for a few more seasons, I'm sure he probably would have been much higher on this list. But they got him at number 59. Then we got an old timer, Mr. Center. Obviously not the center, Mel Hine, but Mr. Center, Ray Whitehecker. Played a long time for the Giants, number 55. He never missed a game in his 10 seasons with the Giants. I mean, it's unbelievable. Never missed a game. And we lose half our offensive line in a practice, and this guy's out here playing every game for 10 seasons for the Giants. Just absolutely freaking amazing. While anchoring an elite offensive line during the team's glory years of the 50s and early 60s, a 12th-round pick at a 1950 NFL draft. Let's see. Garnering a reputation not only for his blocking, but also for snapping for field goals and punts. He was named to the Pro Bowl in 1957, 1960, and 62. He had also earned All-Pro honors in 1958. Appeared in 124 consecutive regular season games. We can't even get guys that can play in 124 consecutive snaps. This guy played in 124 consecutive regular season games and 6 postseason games at center. Unbelievable. He was on a line that featured obviously Rosie Brown, who will be much farther down this list. If he's in the top 10, I wouldn't be shocked. Jack Stroud, Bill Austin, Dick Yelvington, and Darrell Dess, number 62. They protected quarterbacks Charlie Connolly and Wyatt Tittle and blocked for Frank Gifford and Alex Webster. When we won, the Giants' offensive line became famous, Whitehecker said. I became well-known, but first you've got to win. Whitehecker was said to be the innovator of snapping for placements, so the laces of the ball did not face the kicker. In 4 years of place kicking with the Giants, Pat Summerall once recalled, I never saw the laces of the football. Freaking incredible. Absolutely incredible. Whitaker always snapped the ball with the strings facing front. It's unbelievable. A native of East Chicago, Indiana, Whitaker was part of the Northwestern team that defeated California in the 1949 Rose Bowl. He joined the Giants after playing football in the Marine Corps and minor league baseball in the Washington Senators organization. After he hung up the cleats, Whitaker coached the offensive line under Vince Lombardi when the Packers won the Super Bowls 1 and 2. Then we got number 57, Ward Cuff. Yeah, he retired his number 14. So yeah, he's got to be on this list. He was Mr. Do almost freaking just about anything. Let me tell you what, this guy played a long time and he did a lot of things. He kicked, he caught, he ran, he did a lot. And his number 14, his number and Y.A. Tittle both retired number 14. They retired his number when Y.A. Tittle came to the Giants in 1961. He requested number 14. They agreed, right? They gave him his number. Once Y.A. retired after the 64 season, they retired the number 14 in the honor of both guys. I'm sure it's probably done out there, but I don't know how many other teams have had that, where the same numbers retired under two players. Might be another team has that, but I don't know of them, right? Ward Cuff joined the Giants as a fourth-round selection from Marquette in the 1937 draft, because that was only the second year of the NFL draft. The NFL draft started in 1936. And he teamed up with Hall of Famer Ken Strong, Mel Hine, and Alphonse Tuffy Lemons to win 3 Eastern Division titles and the 1938 NFL Championship. Cuff defensed a last-second Arnie Hebner pass into the end zone in the championship game to preserve a 23-17 victory over the Green Bay. Cuff excelled at several positions in his 9 seasons with the Giants. Wingback, fullback, halfback, defensive back, kicker. He rushed and he returned punts. He rushed for 1,766 yards. He had a 5.3-yard average. He caught 101 passes. He scored 18 touchdowns. Made 31 of 70 field goal attempts, but he was 98 of 102 on extra point tries. He had a 12.1-yard punt return average, and he had 13 interceptions. Cuff later tied the league lead in field goals a total of 4 times. Cuff led the Giants in scoring for 6 consecutive seasons and finished as a franchise leader in points before he was traded to the Cardinals. Wellington Mara said no Giant player would again wear the number 14 after Cuff retired, but when Y.A. Tittle was traded to the Giants in 1961, he requested and was given number 14. The number is now retired in honor of both players. Then, of course, we have number 56, Mark Collins. Outstanding choice right here, 1986, second-round pick. Fantastic. He started 104 of 112 games. Had 17 interceptions, 4 forced fumbles, 7 fumble recoveries. The thing was, the first 6 picks the Giants had in the 1980s. This is the one thing, obviously, that's why another reason why I'm not a coach or anything like that. But the Giants just got shut out, 21-0 in the 85 divisional round to the Bears. 21-0. Nothing. So don't you think they need some help on offense? Nope, not according to Bill Parcells. I guess Bill Parcells thought, okay, we'll make our defense so good, we'll just beat everybody 1-0. I guess that's what he was thinking. But in the 1986 NFL draft, the Giants had, I think, 2 first-round picks and 4 second-round picks, or they had 4 second-round picks, then maybe their third-round pick. But their first 6 picks were all defensive players. They're really good players. But you just got shut out by the 85 Bears. Don't you think you might want some help on offense? I said, we'll win every game 1-0 in 1986. Apparently that's what they tried to do. But Collins was one of those 6 picks that the Giants had. The first 6 picks that they had was all defense. Eric Howard, Eric Dorsey, Pepper Johnson, Mark Collins. I remember looking at those guys in training camp and saying, we have some help here, Coach Bill Parcells said. Pepper Johnson was my nickel linebacker. Collins was my nickel back. Dorsey and Howard, they played more because they were linemen, but we got a big contribution out of those kids. I remember thinking to myself, we were going to have 5 or 6 rookies make the team. And not only that, but they're going to make the team better. Collins was a second-round pick out of Cal State Fulton. Collins did just that and contributed immediately with 14 passes defense, 3 fumble recoveries, and an interception in his rookie season. Giants won 8 consecutive games in the regular season. Let's see. Well, also, I remember one thing, too. He was returning kickoffs, too. So, I mean, you think about some of the stuff nowadays, why do we got this guy? His rookie season, he was returning kickoffs. Number 55, Tom Landry. Now, it's, also, I mean, Tom Landry was a decent player. It was nothing phenomenal, but it was more, he was kind of like a player coach for the Giants, right? Because then after 1959 season, he left. I mean, we lost Lombardi after the 58 championship game. He went to coach the Packers in 1959. Well, after 59, we lost Landry to go coach the Cowboys, the expansion Cowboys in 1960. But Landry was with the Giants as a defensive back from 50 to 55 and assistant coach from 54 to 59. He came out of the All-American Football Conference. He played, I believe, with the New York Yankees, I think, for a couple of seasons in the All-American Football Conference. He was also, I mean, I don't even remember. It doesn't say it here. How many air battles he fought in World War II. I mean, he was a man among men in World War II. Let me tell you what. Let's say Giants 56 championship team had one of history's greatest coaching staffs. Obviously, Jimmy Lee Howell, but they had Vince Lombardi and Tom Landry. When the Dallas Cowboys entered the league in 1960, Wallington Mara recommended the Cowboys hire Landry as a head coach. I mean, what an idiot. I mean, what are you, stupid? I mean, and of course, then after the 60 season, right, Jimmy Lee Howell steps down, and now we don't have Lombardi or we don't have Landry. I mean, we had Allie Sherman, but Allie Sherman was not Landry or Lombardi. He was a good offensive mind, but let's see, the Mara family really meant a lot to me personally, Landry said in the Pro Football Hall of Fame enshrinement speech. The Mara family, the Hallis family, the Rooney family, they are the heart of the NFL. To be a part of that team and see the type of family atmosphere they had, we didn't always agree, but we were like most families. We could always make up. But I had a chance to play. I had a chance to be a player coach for them and a defensive coach. When I coached all the way through the 50s with the Giants, I had Vince Lombardi and myself. Vince handled the offense. I handled the defense for the Giants until he went to Green Bay. We had some great teams with the Mara family. Yes, you did. Steve Owen. Oh, yeah, without question. Steve Owen was he first played 1925 with the Kansas City Cowboys. Now, the Kansas City Cowboys came to play the New York Giants on November 22nd, 1925. The Giants would win 9-3. But that's where they got their first sighting of Steve Owen, who played for the Cowboys, Kansas City, who were a traveling team back then. They didn't play home games. So in 1926, the Giants signed Steve Owen. He played for the Giants, I think, until 1931. And then from 31 to 53, he was their coach. I've seen him. He has 152 or 153 career wins. That'll probably be, I don't know if that'll ever be beaten. In today's NFL, it's so difficult to have somebody say, I mean, if you even have a guy coach your team, unless you got a Belichick or a Tomlin. If you do, God bless you. But I mean, it's so difficult, especially in this market, to last that many, in New York, to last that many years, very, very difficult. I said, even if you have somebody coach the Giants for 15 seasons, he'd have to average 10 wins a season for 15 years. And I have a hard time fathoming just a coach coming to New York and coaching for 15 seasons here. I don't know. It just seems like I don't know. Tough to do. But Steve Owen, he was there. He was our coach for the 34 championship game, the 38 championship game. He was on the 27 championship team as a player. The 1930 season, him and Benny Friedman were the interim coach for the final 2 games of the season after Leroy Andrews got the heave-ho. Let's see, what do we got for Steve Owen here? Steve Owen, 4-time all NFL tackle, played for the Giants from 26 to 31. Well, plus a 1-game return in 1933. Interesting. But Owen made his greatest imprint on the sideline where he coached the Giants for 23 seasons. He was the co-coach with Benny Friedman in 1930 for the final 2 games of the season. Then the next year, he assumed the full head coaching responsibility, a position he kept until 1953. His record of 153, 117, won 8 division titles and 2 NFL titles. The 153 record is still a giant record. Some of the coaching innovations, including the A formation offense, the umbrella defense, and the 2-platoon system. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1966. Then, of course, hard to argue with this one, Dave Jennings. Right, God rest his soul. And he played on some bad teams. But he was with the Giants till 1984. So in 81 and 84, right? And actually, and even in 81, 84, we went to the playoffs. And at least he was standing on the sideline as we won 2 playoff games. 81, we beat the Eagles. And 84, we beat the Rams, right? So, but boy, I'll tell you what, from 74 to 80, he was on some bad football teams. Oh, my God. Jennings played for the Giants from 74 to 84. He holds the team's record for punts, 931. Well, it's because he punted 37 times a game back then because we had no offense. Or 405 more times than the runner-up, Sean Landeta. He's punted 400 more times than the next runner-up. 931 punts in 11 seasons. So basically, he punted like 80 times a season, 80, 90 times a season. I mean, that's horrible. And punting yardage, 38,792 yards of punting for the Giants. Jennings was selected to Pro Bowls in 78, 79, 80, and 82. He punted a career high 104 times in 79, which was the Giants' record until Brad Maynard had 111 punts in 1997. Jennings, but of course, no, I'm sorry. No, I was going to say, Jennings, 104 punts in 1979 was only in a 14-game schedule, but no, they started playing 16 games then. So, and Brad Maynard's 111 punts in 1997 was in a 16-game schedule too. Jennings punted for more than 4,000 yards in a season 3 times, which is not a good thing. Let's see. Dave was the very first player I met when I came to the Giants at Hall of Fame linebacker Harry Carson, who joined the team in 1976. When I met him, I felt so welcome. Dave was just a guy that everyone not only liked, but loved. Anyone who knew Dave would say he was a great guy with a terrific person with a bubbly personality. Jennings was born on June 8, 1952 in New York City. He did not play football at Gardens City High School on Long Island. Jennings attended St. Lawrence University, where he earned 2 letters in basketball. After winning the punting job as a walk-on, he was a 3-time all-conference selection. Yeah, and he just passed away a little while ago. Let me see here. $2013, yeah. Shame. I mean, was he 60 years old when he passed? 61. I forgot what that. Does it say? No, does it not say that? Oh, here we go. Jennings died due to complications with Parkinson's disease on June 19, 2013, 11 days after his 61st birthday. Yeah, I mean, he was with the Jets for 3 seasons as well too. He was an announcer, very knowledgeable. He seemed like a real great guy. But, he was my guy growing up. He was like my punter. Now, he wasn't my punter for the first few seasons because I started watching in 1970. But when Dave Jennings came in, after that, he's the guy I remember, number 13. He's the Giants punter, right? Good old David Deal's number 52. Now, of course, he's part of that, that famed line the Giants had, right, with Deal and Seibert and O'Hara, Snee McKenzie, right? He's a two-time, I believe. Deal started his first 120 regular season games and 7 postseason games in his career, the longest such streak by Giants since the introduction of 16-game schedule. Few players worked harder, played with more enthusiasm, were more popular among teammates than David Deal. Let's see, he helped Giants win 42 and 46. He was selected 2009 Pro Bowl and personified the team as a team player. Yeah, I mean, without question. Positive attitude, gotta love him. So he's certainly well-deserved to be on this list. And number 51, good old Mr. Patience, Otis Anderson. Now, he got drafted by the Giants. He got traded to the Giants in the 1986 season. It might have been maybe kind of thought maybe toward the end of his career and stuff like that. But, he hung around, and God bless him. 1990 Super Bowl 25. If he wasn't the best player on the field that day. Thurman Thomas was. Thurman Thomas was the best player on the field that day. He should have won the MVP, but usually you don't hand it to guys from losing teams. So Otis Anderson, that uppercut, right? Scored a touchdown, 102 yards rushing, whatever it was. I think it was. He great game, great effort, and actually, dude's got himself 2 Super Bowl rings. Good for him. So he certainly deserves to be on this list. Very, very patient because, he was used to being like the guy. Got drafted with the Cardinals. He had a great rookie season, and he got a lot of got the ball a lot, got a lot of carries. And then he went to the Giants, and we had Morris there. We had some other guys there, so he kind of had to take a little bit of a back seat. But his patience. I said 86. He won the Super Bowl, but 87, 88, 89, he was still there, and finally 1990. Yeah, and he was the guy. He came into the Rodney Hampton hurt himself. And then Otis Anderson had his practice pants on. They were taped up and everything. Had his practice pants on because he didn't think he was going to play. Rodney Hampton's the man. He was, right? Rodney was the man. Let me tell you what. Then Rodney got hurt, and they're like, Otis, you're in. He's like, what? Get the out of here. You just shut the front door. But he went in, and the rest is history, baby. So that was a fantastic pickup for the Giants. Let me tell you what, we had some very, you go from like whatever, 80, 81, when we brought in Carpenter, right? We had some nice backs in the, without question, in the 80s, up to, when we drafted Rodney Hampton in 1990. So we had some good running backs that 10-year period. But I mean, it was really paid off for Otis, his patience, just hanging around, still being around the team and all of that. It was really a good team. It was just a matter of could the Giants seal the deal. I'll tell you what, he came in 1986, the perfect year for the Giants. Perfect year, for him. Because that's when the Giants obviously won their first Super Bowl. So it's a nice list from 51 to 60. I can hardly wait, as we get further on down the list. Very, very good. Very, very good list. All right, let's see here. Then the Giants worked out former Washington State offensive lineman Jack Wilson on Thursday. Now, once again, I don't know. I mean, I guess as the guys keep getting injured and they keep falling by the wayside, right? Maybe this guy might come into play. Who knows? Guy's 6'11", 338 pounds. 6'11". He's almost 7 foot tall. Let's see. Teams are working out young players to update their files, keep tabs on them in case of a rainy day, or perhaps find a hidden gem. However, Jack Wilson is notable not so much for his experience as an offensive lineman, but rather for his exceptional size. Wilson carries the distinction of being the tallest player at Washington State Cougars program history. A two-sport athlete, Wilson measures 6'11", 338 pounds. And while his height isn't quite out of the ordinary for a basketball player, it's incredibly uncommon for a football player. Joe Alt is 6'8", Nate Solder was 6'9", and both are uncommonly tall for football players. And in fact, Wilson got his start as a basketball player and has played for Oregon State. That's where George Martin came from. He played for Oregon State, Idaho, Washington State, and finally Minnesota. Perhaps unsurprisingly, he's a center on the court. Yeah, not hard to believe there. Wilson was a football walk-on at Minnesota and primarily played special teams, blocking for field goals and point-after attempts. He's had 2 starts in the offensive line to his credit, both coming in 2022. Yes, I do. Here we go. I got him. Let's see. Offense, okay. Let's see. I'll tell you what. Offense, snaps by position, offensive grades. Yeah, blocking. I got in 2022 at Washington State. He had 18 offensive snaps he played. I really don't know what it is. He graded out at 58.1. His run blocker was at 57.2. His pass blocking, he was only there for 2 pass blocking snaps. He graded at 67.9. So I don't know. I don't know what they're saying. I have no idea. Other than the guy's 7 foot tall almost. But he played right tackle and left tackle. He played 14 snaps at right tackle. He played 4 snaps at left tackle. And he graded out like in the 50s or 60. So I really don't know what they're saying with this guy. Yeah. But tape on Wilson is predictably very hard to come by. He's obviously unpolished as a tackle and has to work very hard to keep his pads down. Yeah. The guy's got to be bending halfway over just to keep his pads down. He's so tall. His footwork is also something of a mess, as are his hands. That said, his sheer athleticism also shines through as he's able to get in position and re-anchor despite initially losing a rep or covering a lot of ground to block at the second level. That's true. He got those long legs. Wilson is obviously a bright guy as well as a talented athlete. He's been an honor student, has a degree in social science and a master's in exercise science. He's also said that he wants to get into coaching after his playing career is over. I don't know what playing career he's talking about, but so I really don't know what they see in the guy. Obviously the guy is huge, tall, and all that stuff and everything, but I don't know. I don't know. Then I've seen a lot about Tyrone Tracy here, the 5th round pick. A lot of good things. Obviously it's just training camp and all that stuff and everything. But he's battling out. He's battling out to get that second spot behind Motor. The Giants are planning to use the short pass as an extension of the running game and play call of Brian Dable's offense. Tyrone Tracy Jr. might be the perfect fit. The rookie 5th round draft pick appears to have the upper hand over Eric Gray and Turbo Miller early in training camp. Once again, it's early to be the primary backup to Motor Singletary. Perhaps that is because of Tracy's 5 years spent as a Big Ten receiver before switching to the backfield and rushing for 716 yards and 8 touchdowns at Purdue last season. Let's see. It says, wherever they use me, I'm going to try to do it the best of my ability, Tracy said. But with all the short yardage stuff, whether that's a hitch or backs coming out of the backfield, I think that's a little to my advantage because of my background. But we have a lot of different things in our playbook that makes our offense really good. Tyrone says he's picked up things pretty fast. What he doesn't know, he can ask Singletary, who played in Dable's scheme with the Bills. On offense, we put a premium on intelligent players, Dable said, on drafting rookies, knowing what to do and why it's important. Yeah, I mean, he's got some reps out there. So he had a lot of good things about him, but once again, it's early. Everybody's fighting for their lives. I'm kind of thinking more of anything else is like Eric Gray. Seems like he's in a dog fight. I don't know if Corbin's going to be making the 53. I don't know if he'll be put back on the practice squad or not. That I don't know, but it seems like if anything, it's down to obviously we got Motor Singletary, but we got Tracy, we got Turbo, and we got Gray. So one of those four guys is going to get put onto try to get put onto the practice squad. The thing is that with the running back, such as like maybe Gray or somebody like that, if they don't have a special talent, I mean, like Turbo Miller runs under a 4.3, that's a special talent. If we were to let him go and hope and pray he makes it through waivers, then we can put him on the practice squad. But you gotta have to hope and pray he gets through waivers because he has a special talent. Eric Gray is, there's a lot of Eric Grays out there, right? So if we were to let Eric Gray cut him or release him, whatever, or let him go, try to clear waivers, he'd probably wind up back on the practice squad. But it's going to be a battle. But I'm saying that's why I like these practices against the Lions. Thursday's preseason game against the Lions. The other two preseason games we have. The practice against the Jets. Going to be obviously sometimes it's the luck of lady luck. If you're the first guy out, right? Sometimes you're only one play away from being the first guy in. So meaning if we're talking New York Giants here, you got to talk injuries. So if somebody gets injured, that you just get moved. You just get moved up the depth chart one position. So, but if everybody stays healthy, the running backs, Eric Gray's got to fight. He's got to fight. So, but saying a lot of good stuff about Tyrone Tracy, without question. And then finally, when is an injury a good thing? Well, an injury in Tampa Bay could have positive impact on the Giants' compensatory picks. So that's a good thing. Injuries in the NFL are common, especially with the New York Giants, but learning of them is never good news. You don't want anybody getting injured, but unfortunately, it's the NFL, and you get injured. However, some do open the door for other players and in turn may impact the compensatory pick formula, such as the case down in Tampa Bay where Buccaneers guard Opeta was lost for the season due to a torn ACL suffered during Tuesday's practice. So I guess if you're looking like that, I guess, with the Giants, I guess it could be worse, right? But Opeta had been competing with former New York Giants guard Ben Bredeson for the starting job. The pair had been rotating first-team reps, but it now appears to be Ben Bredeson's job to lose. Although the Giants certainly didn't want to see Opeta go down with an injury, nobody does. Absolutely not. Absolutely, you don't want nobody getting injured. But once again, it is what it is. The Giants are undoubtedly happy that Bredeson is likely to step into a starting role. Bredeson is among the free agent players the Giants lost who will count toward the 2025 NFL Draft compensatory pick formula. Aha. Prior to Opeta's injury, they were projected to receive a 7th-round pick. But should Bredeson assume that starting role and play a majority of Tampa Bay's offensive snaps, that would bode well for the Giants, who could then see that 7th-round pick turn into a 4th round pick. Yeah. Fantastic, huh? From Art Stapleton. Tough break for Opeta, but Bredesen may benefit because of the injury, and in turn the Giants would as well. Need Bredesen to start in Tampa and play a significant percentage of the snaps in order to get a 4th round compensatory pick rather than a 7th. So the Giants currently have 8 picks in 2025. We have a 1st, a 2nd, a 3rd, a 4th, 2 5ths, and 2 7ths. Their 6th round pick was traded to Buffalo in a swap that included linebacker Boogie Basham. The pick from Seattle was part of the trade for defensive lineman Leonard Williams. Should Bredesen start the season, expect to see that additional 4th round pick be added to the assets listed above. So the Giants could possibly, right, have a 1st, a 2nd, a 3rd, 2 4ths, and 2 5ths, and 2 7ths. So that wouldn't be bad. You know, there's 3rd and 4th round picks. You can find diamonds in the rough anywhere, but 3rd and 4th round pick, they're like gold. They're certainly like gold. So, all right, guys. Well, the Giants are off tomorrow, and then they'll be back in shells on Sunday. And then we got Monday and Tuesday. We got the joint practices with the Detroit Lions. So, all right, guys. Been 1 hour and 5 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you, thank you, thank you. If anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.